随分と勇敢だね。
うまくもまずくもねえが、何のお茶だこれ。
ここで生成したものだからね。言ってしまえば僕の体力。
Every day I go on a search to find a good anime, and one such day I was trying to watch a decent anime but I somehow ended up in the harem section of the definitely legal anime site which I will call Z for this video. So while browsing on Z like a degenerate, I stumbled upon a show called Beast Tamers. I decided to watch this show because the premise seemed interesting. I was definitely not swayed by the cat girl in the poster of this show, I promise. Moving on. The story follows a boy named Rain, who's just like the average Genshin Impact player, denser than 99.9% of people on this earth. The story follows a boy named Rain who is a beast tamer, which is supposedly a very weak class, but still Rain powers through to prove his worth, but that does not suffice, as he is mocked and kicked out from the hero's party for apparently being useless and decides to join a guild. To join the guild he is required to kill 10 goblins as a test, and while attempting to do so, he finds a girl being attacked by a killer tiger. After saving her he finds out that she is a rare cat spirit named Kanade. So Kanade instantly clings onto Rain and encourages him to try to form a contract with her in which he is successful. God, I wish that was me. This marks the start of their journey together, where many more companions will join Rain as he moves forward. Now I'll talk about the good parts of the show. I would like to start by saying that this show is, in no way, a good show, but there is no false advertising, at least. What I mean by that is, that this show gives you what is promised from the poster to its story. Anyone who has watched this show probably knows what they were here for, and if anyone is starting this show they should know that they are not gonna get great action or too great of a story. Rather you will get a chill and pretty predictable story which is easy to follow, and you can just shut your brain, like it isn't already shut from watching too much of anime. Another thing you will get from this show are great waifus, which I am pretty sure is enough for most people to start watching the show. Even though the show goes in for the trashy loli trope towards the mid parts of the story, which I hate, the first two girls, Kanade the cat spirit and Tanya the dragonoid, who I can only call one word, mommy. I wish she would step on me. I mean, what? As I was saying, the first two companions were very well made, so the others can be overlooked in my opinion. Another good thing about this show is that it never really gets boring, at least for me. I know it can get cliché, but I'll talk about that when I am talking about the bad parts of this show. When I watched this show, I was anything but bored. Even though it had its ups and downs, it actually never really bored me, which really is a thing which works in this show's favor. Now on to the bad parts. Like I said in the last section, the show also has lowly characters, which is a part that annoyed me a lot as it was simply not needed, although the characters weren't bad per se, but that aspect of the show was just unnecessary. And now the part that annoyed me the most throughout this show. The fucking MC of this show is so dense, like actually so dumb that it is beyond my comprehension. He just refuses to acknowledge his own power, even though every single one of his companions is constantly talking about it. He just doesn't understand. He is just made so powerful that no matter what he does he just can't go wrong. After watching the first episode, one kind of had the idea that this was a typical trashy anime with an OP MC who will just win every fight and all, but I did not expect to find one of the cringiest and most annoying MCs ever. To put it into perspective, just think of all the clichés an overpowered MC can have in anime and then watch this anime. You can play a game of bingo with all those characteristics and check each one after every episode, and just as a typical harem anime, every girl that sets her eyes on the MC, with the exception of girls on the villain's side, just has to fall in love with Rain. It doesn't even try to build some kind of relationship between them. They just meet him and have one small incident with him and they are automatically in love with him without fail, which is a part that kind of annoys me, as even though I enjoy myself a bit of harem anime, that doesn't mean I can't do it with a little bit of class. But seeing as it is the same for most harem anime, I can give it a pass. My personal opinions, the show is trash, but it can be considered a one-time watch kind of anime. You don't need to use your brain, as you are just watching this show either for the harem side of it or just because you are bored of watching actually good anime and you just need your dose of trashy anime with a predictable plot and many cliché characteristics which you can just watch in your free time. Personally, I think that it is watchable. Just the MC will annoy you, so be prepared if you are planning to watch this show. Otherwise it is actually decent, and I think if you know what you are gonna get from this anime and don't have too high expectations or any expectations for that sake, then you can actually enjoy it. What I mean to say is, just shut your brain off if you want to watch this show. Conclusion, I would like to give this anime a rating of 6 out of 10 as it is kind of in the middle of all the animes I have watched. It's not the worst one, but it is definitely not the best one, and it won't be, so if you want an actual good anime, don't look here and just go watch Attack on Titan or something, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, I'll see you next week.